Hello. Thank you for being here and taking time for yourself today. I'm Heidi from Healthy You, and I'd like to share some insight on how to bring mindfulness into your everyday life. Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what is going on around us. It is quality that every human being already possesses. It's not something you have to conjure up. You just have to learn how to access it. When we practice mindfulness, we're practicing the art of creating space for ourselves. Space to think, space to breathe, space between ourselves and our reactions. When we're mindful, we reduce stress, enhance performance, gain insight and awareness through observing our own mind, and increase our attention to others' well-being. We stop ruminating on the past and focusing on the future. We stop multitasking and focus on the here and now. The beginning of this video demonstrates how most of us function on a daily basis, frequently distracted and unable to focus on what we're experiencing.
Imagine yourself having dinner in the kitchen. While eating, you start thinking about how tedious it's going to be to do all those dishes after dinner, and that you'd rather just relax on the couch. As you're doing the dishes, you start thinking about that couch and what it's going to be like to just sit there and have your cup of tea, and maybe a biscuit. Later, you move your tired body and the freshly brewed cup of tea over to the couch. As you're sitting there, you start thinking about the unfinished work you left at the office. Maybe you'll have to take the cat to the vet tomorrow. Was your sister upset by the thing you said? Where does the universe end? And did you really pay that bill, by the way? Suddenly, your thoughts are interrupted, and you notice an empty cup in your hand. Who drank all that tea? You try to, but you can't really remember what it tasted like. Depression includes spending a lot of time thinking about the past or worrying about the future. And when you're occupied with thoughts about the past or the future, you're missing something very important. The present, your life, right here in the moment. The feeling of warm water on your hands, or the smell of organic Darjeeling. That is problematic, because the only moment we can control is what's happening here and now. We can't change the past, and we can't decide what happens in 5 minutes. Here and now is the only moment when you can choose what to do. Mindfulness meditation is about practicing this skill. To direct your focus to the present moment, try not to judge what you find, and when you get distracted by thoughts, bring back your focus over and over again. So, how do we do this? The easiest way is to direct your attention towards a part of your body, for example, your breathing, because the body is always in the present. Unlike your thoughts, it can't run to the future. Another trick is to focus on one of your senses. For example, noticing smells or sounds. When doing this, you will probably notice negative thoughts such as, "This is stupid," "I'm too restless," or "This will never work." Try not to think about these thoughts as distracting. They're actually part of mindfulness practice, and they are a signal to bring back your focus. All such thoughts give you the opportunity to redirect your attention and exercise your brain. And if they are really crappy thoughts, try to give them a name For example, the critic, the judge, Mrs. Panic, or something else. This can help you to get some distance from them. Meditation is difficult at first. That's why we need to practice regularly. After some time, you'll notice that you react differently to negative thoughts and feelings than before. Instead of missing out on positive experiences, you learn to use all of your senses in your daily life. When you think about it, the present is actually a neat present.
Oh yes, a very pleasant present indeed. Mindfulness does not have to be a formal meditation session. It can simply be focusing your senses on the task at hand. In the example of doing the dishes in the video, you would observe how warm the water feels on your hands. Notice the smell of the soap. Listen to the sound of the water. Look at that detail of the etching on the dish. Focus only on that single dish in your hands, not the stack of them yet to be washed. Allow yourself the mental space to focus on the simple task of dishes and stop thinking ahead to the rest of your to-do list. As silly as it sounds, research proves that your stress levels will decrease by being intentionally present and aware, even to something as mundane as washing the dishes. Here are some helpful tips to consider before you begin integrating mindfulness into your everyday life. You don't need to buy anything. You can practice anywhere. There's no need to go out and buy a special cushion or incense. All you need is to intentionally devote a little time and space to accessing your mindfulness skills every day. There's no way to quiet your mind, and that's not the goal here. There's no bliss state or otherworldly communion. All you're trying to do is pay attention to the present moment without judgment. Sounds easy, right? Oh, but your mind will wander. As you practice paying attention to what's going on in your body and mind at the present moment, you'll find that many thoughts arise. Your mind might drift to something that happened yesterday, meander to your to-do list. Your mind will try to be anywhere but where you are. But the wandering mind isn't something to fear. It's part of human nature, and it provides the magic moment for the essential piece of mindfulness practice. The piece that researchers believe leads to healthier, more agile brains. The moment when you recognize that your mind has wandered. Because if you can notice that your mind has wandered, then you can consciously bring it back to the present moment. The more you do this, the more likely you are to be able to do it again and again. And that sure beats walking around on autopilot any day. Think of the countless times you've finished your coffee or tea without appreciating a single sip, or arrived to your destination without remembering the drive. Or maybe you found yourself with your hand in the bottom of a chip bag that you only meant to snack a few from. Your judgy brain will try to take over. The second part of the mindfulness puzzle is the without judgment part. We're all guilty of listening to the critic in our heads a little more than we should. To be sure, that critic has saved us from disaster quite a few times. But when we practice investigating our judgments and diffusing them, we can learn to choose how we look at things and react to them. When you practice mindfulness, try not to judge yourself for whatever thoughts pop up. Just notice that judgments arise, make a mental note of them, and let them pass. Recognizing the sensation they may leave in your body, and let those pass too. It's all about returning your attention again and again to the present moment. It seems like our minds are wired to get carried away in thought. And that's why mindfulness is the practice of returning again and again to the here and now. And with that, I invite you to consider how you will make space to add mindfulness into your everyday.